Loretta Simonet is a fiscal year 2022 recipient of a Creative Support for Individuals grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board. This activity is made possible by the voters of Minnesota through a grant from the Minnesota State Art Board thanks to a legislative appropriation by the Minnesota State Legislature and by a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts. So tonight's event is to release their new CD, Lift the World. So check out the table at the break and after the show and have a lot of fun with Curtis and Loretta!
Geez, I'm blushing, full on blush right there. I've got like an eighth of an inch of blush room still. But yeah, it's so wonderful to see you folks. And and really, thanks to Minnesota, arts, it's like 1% of 1% of the state budget does an incredible amount for the arts. It really does. So we appreciate your support. And so, so we all went home for a couple of years, and it was kind of scary for sure. But then we began to sit there, we began to realize that there's some kind of cool stuff going on because of it too, And a lot of the time I was sitting there thinking about, my parents, my grandparents especially, that really went through, through World War II, the Victory Gardens, and melting down their skillets, and all of this stuff, and I watched people during the pandemic, and I thought, I hope people aren't confusing, inconvenience with hardship, So I just began to look around and just see all we just saw all these wonderful things that were going on.
I found a lot of silver linings. So a lot of these songs were written during the pandemic, and this one I think I wrote actually a little bit before the pandemic. And we're going to introduce our wonderful musicians as we go along. We'll have Tom Schaefer join us on fiddle on this one, and Sandy Njoes will be playing bass soon. And they're on the recording too. And we'll start off with this one.
We're so happy to see you. And one thing about being a musician, you never get rich with money, but by God, you'll have great friends in a lot of places around the country. So we just appreciate it.
Hey,
together we can lift the world.
Before we start, Doug, did you start that recorder? Okay.
It's rolling.
All right.
And we'd like to thank Ginkgo tonight for not serving.
They will though. But during the
during the intermission. Okay, there we go.
1, 2, 3. Will you miss me when I'm gone? Will you sometimes sing my song? Oh, they pass on through like hard-working migrants who have done the job and then seem to vanish like the wind. They say vibrations never end, one says it, and so I pray the words I write are worthy of the ride. All these tours that I forged are gifted to me by and large. I gathered truth from the world and waved it like a flag unfurled. I stitched together words from the pictures that I heard. They say vibrations never end, one says it, and so I pray the words I write are worthy of the ride. I will miss you when I'm gone, for I love to sing you songs. If my words spoke to you, or somehow they helped you through these paths that tool along, that's the beauty of the song. They say vibrations never end, one says it, and so I pray the words I write are worthy of the ride. Spoke to you, or somehow they helped you through these paths that tool along. That's the beauty of the song. That's the beauty of the song. Beauty of the song.
That was not the song she
I
introduced.
know, I started to
Kind of threw me off. I don't know about you guys.
I don't think you even played on that on the recording, did you? But you did anyway. That one's called Beauty of the Song.
Yes.
I'm so mixed up.
Well, you know, after playing together for like 40 years, I know there's a lot of musicians out here. You end up learning like multiple songs with the same first line. You know, it's like really through the years you'll introduce one song and then just, you know, spontaneously you'll both play a different song with the same first line. But that's a little different.
Sorry.
So what was that?
That was called Beauty of the Song. That's the one I wrote during the pandemic. And but let's really do Lift the Rug.
Sure. Starts with an L.
I know. Sorry. Tom, never mind. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Okay, here we go. It's the same count into it, so I was like, that's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. All my gold may slip away and my karma come to pay. I might just wake up someday and see the good part that I play. When the day is all through, nothing more that I can do. One thing I have learned is true, I turn, and there it's always you. You lift the world from my shoulders, spin it, gently turn it over. You set it down out of the way. Just like a dream, the world fades away. Just like a dream, the world fades away. I may travel near and far, sail the seas to Zanzibar. I might just walk out the door and be content in my backyard. When the miles are said and done, when the race is out, I'll run. I meet you in the setting sun, and from there we walk as one. You lift the world from my shoulders, spin it, gently turn it over. You set it down out of the way. Just like a dream, the world fades away. Just like a dream, the world fades away. Trials may come to torment me, break right in without a key. They may all demand to be my eternal destiny. When the worries and the cares get too much for me to bear, you look each one in the eyes just like that. You cut them down to size. You lift the world from my shoulders, spin it, gently turn it over. You set it down out of the way. Just like a dream, the world fades away. Just like a dream, the world fades away. Just like a dream, the world fades away. Just like a dream, the world fades away.
Lovely audience. It's like we always gauge our audiences. By the second song, you can tell that the audience is a good audience. Because, you know, no, not an egg or tomato has been thrown. Of course, this time of year, they're kind of expensive.
Yeah, who could afford to throw those anymore?
Whatever you want to do. Sure. Bruce. Okay.
I That's the whole set list up right there.
Okay, let's see. No. We can do that. It's all really sounded very good.
Okay, well, no, let's.
No, let's do it.
We're gonna do another one.
It's really her. It's her project. Though, you know, in Shakespearean times, I was reading about they threw cabbage. See how far the human race has come, you know, through the centuries, all the way from cabbages to eggs. Pretty good. Let's keep going. We'll get there someday. Sure.
Okay, all right, because Sandy's ready to go here, so we're going to have Sandy Njoes join us on bass.
What is this about? You know, one thing, really, obviously, you know, when you were sitting there, you know, living through the pandemic, you know, you realize how important home is, you know. I mean, and really for Americans, really, you know, we don't have to worry about home nearly as much as so many people around the world do. But it's, you know, it's good to remember that it's important, and you have to sustain it, and you have to, you know, you only need so much, but there are things you have to have. So this is about home, right?
It is about home and your family, and realizing that it's more than just the people that live in the house with you. We got family everywhere.
I thought it was all about me.
Well, it's mostly about you. Curtis and I are married to each other, and we'll talk a little bit more about
Yeah, it was the dog. It was a dog. Yeah. The dog saved us, really. It's good. Sorry, I took that.
This is a Celtic harp or a folk harp that I'm playing. Curtis is playing the manto cello, kind of like a big giant mandolin, tuned like a boat cello. Right, so
Should have taken it off.
redo his cables. He had messed up the
Just your own head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna tune for a minute. So I'm gonna tell you the difference between this and a concert harp, big ones you'd see on the symphony orchestra.
500 pounds.
Yeah, 500 pounds. A lot more pounds. And this has got 36 strings, and concert harps have 47 or sometimes more strings. And the other difference is this doesn't have pedals on the bottom. The concert harps have pedals, and those are actually to change the key you're playing, and it sharps or flats each string a half step. And instead of that, I have levers up here, and I can sharp each string a half step. And that's how I get in different keys. And I hope you're taking notes. Kathy's got a test she's going to hand out at the end. You got to know all that. All right, we ready? Let me make sure I'm doing it right. 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3. I travel all over this world. I asked what it could offer me. I travel all over this world, just wondering where I would be.
Home, my own,
Sweet home.
roots so deep, roots so strong, hold you up where you belong, feed you in the darkest night, and lift you up into the light.
I thought I could do it alone. I ran so fast through that rat race. I thought I could do it alone. Not once that in that lonesome place. You're home.
You're home,
Sweet home.
roots so deep, roots so strong, hold you up where you belong, feed you in the darkest night, and lift you up into the light.
I finally found you one day. We sat still by the old oak tree. I finally found you one day. Love blossomed in my memory of home.
My home,
Sweet home.
roots so deep, roots so strong, hold you up where you belong, feed you in the darkest night, and lift you up into the light.
And then when you opened my eyes, and every soul was shining there. And then when you opened my eyes, I saw they had been always there.
Home,
my own sweet home. Roots go deep, roots go strong, hold you up where you belong, feed you in the darkest nights, and lift you up into the light. Yeah, roots go deep, roots go strong, hold you up where you belong, feed you in the darkest nights, and lift you up into the light. It's so cool to play with a band. And those of us, I know, a lot of you have seen us before because we know a whole lot of you here, and it's always just Curtis and me. We always say, man, it would be nice to have a band. And here they are. They're on the CD.
Nice.
It's like glue holding things together. It's
Yes.
like, oh.
I believe even the name Schaefer means to proceed with taste and expertise. Read that on the internet.
How about Neil?
Well, Njoes, that means boom, 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 boom.
Sandy Njoes and Tom Schaefer, they both played with many bands.
Oh.
And Tom Schaefer had another, this is his second gig of the day. He was up at Crooners earlier. And good enough to come and rush over here to play with us.
Yeah, so maybe you felt guilty now. We'll get you to sing along on one. Yeah.
This is the sing-along. You know, we're folk musicians, so we're required to have people sing. Yeah, we're obligated to have people sing along on at least a couple songs.
Says it on our birth certificates. They're going to be folk musicians.
So this is it. This is from a previous CD. This is from way back in 2000.
Just for the heck of it, this is in key of C. You know,
In case anybody wants to.
you don't have to. You can just sing along. We'll probably dock you if you don't. Yeah, we can dock you. You and we can't really dock, so we have to use different ploys to get you to sing along. Now, there are many different techniques that, folk musicians pick up over the years. Now, this is one where if you sing along on this with abandon, now we're going to have to teach you your part eventually. You're going to have to memorize it and go through all of those steps. But if you sing along on this song, it will be like receiving a free medical procedure.
Oh yeah. Is that the real reason you came down?
Oh yeah.
Medical,
I know we do, but I don't know if anyone will raise their hand. Do we have any incognito attorneys in the audience? Any lawyers in the audience?
Yes,
Okay,
we have
yes,
one in
do.
back. She's not raising her hand though.
She's a good one.
And there's another one.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah.
Now, it may be illegal to distribute medical procedures without a license. We're not sure about this.
If someone turns you in, yeah.
But anyways, you're as long as you feel better, right? So, what is the name of that medical procedure Loretta?
It's called group therapy.
Group therapy, yes.
I'm going to do it right here, right now. And we're going to teach her your part, and then we'll all practice it. Some of you know this song
Okay.
already.
All right, here we go. Ready? Memorize this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Na 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 na.
Be a good sport. Do that moose with us. So I don't feel so dumb. I don't feel like I love you with my friends. All right. So we're gonna have everybody practice, and then we'll go for it. And when it comes to your part in the song, I'll point at you, so you'll know when to come in. All right. We ready to practice? After 4, ready?
Wish I had brought my atomizer. Yes, please. This is a very important. We got to get this right. You can do antelope if you want. You don't have to do moose. It's like we have a lot of respect for our South Dakota.
Clear voice. It's clear voice, actually. Oh.
Okay, I got the thing turned right.
Scranton Falls.
I've done that before. Okay.
Here we go. We're gonna practice. Here's our note.
Somebody I could sue.
We're gonna practice first, okay? After 4, ready? Remember, you got it. Na 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 na. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, that was great.
Yeah, that's an all-time decibel high.
That was.
Man, we are going to be some healthy people when we're done.
Sometimes it's really hard to get people to sing along.
Somebody I could sue.
Janie did it, don't blame me. I learned that when I was 3. I would play, she called me quitter. Made me so mad I had to hit her. This happens every single time. They should arrest you for this crime. You buy a gallon of ice cream, and I eat it till my thighs would scream. When you got no one to blame but yourself, oh, you'd sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue, or somebody I could pass this buck. They passed me going way too fast and cut me off, so I hit the gas. I stuck to him close as I could. He slowed down and smashed my hood. It's not my fault, don't look at me. What a stupid place to plant a tree. I just backed up, what can I say? It was standing right there in my way. When you got no one to blame but yourself, oh, you'd sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue, somebody I could pass this buck. They do this to me all the time. Don't get you in and then you whine. So I get mad, don't talk for days. I'll show you, I'll make you pay. Why won't you just end this fight? Do it my way, do it right. You never listen to a word. I have to yell just to be heard. When you got no one to blame but yourself, oh, you'd sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue, somebody I could pass this buck. Oh, my lawyer life's not fair. Where's my success? Where's my share? I'm stuck down in this endless rut because no one will pick me up. The world's got it in for me. I burned myself in hot coffee, lost my cash and Powerball. And how come you never call? When you got no one to blame but yourself, oh, you'd sure like to pin it on somebody else. There must be somebody I could sue, somebody I could pass this buck. Somebody I could pass this buck. That was so cool. Well, I am going to get rid of the harp and get the guitar. Yeah. I'm just going to set this right here. Santa Claus on Halloween, and we're going to have Curtis tell you a little story about how I wrote this song for him one year when he was dressed up as Santa Claus on Halloween.
So first, let me ask. Does anybody look more like Santa Claus than me out there? Where'd Carl go? You're living dangerous, man.
I keep a list.
You're living dangerous. And, you know, I'll tell you why in a minute. Well, you know, the thing is, first, let me ask you, do I have any thrift store treasure hunters here? Any, I just knew. I knew the ultimate in recycling, you know. And so around Halloween, it's beautiful because they save up these clothes all year long, and around Halloween they put them in the middle of the store. And presumably, I believe, it is so that one might create their own personalized Halloween outfit. And I find, like, this shirt, a lot of the things I just like to wear all year, so I do a lot of shopping during that time before Halloween. But a few years ago, I found it was just beautiful. It was a 1940s, top of the line, professional, big department store, like when I was a kid, Santa Claus outfit. And we live in Northeast, and we live on the hill there, and we have two sets of steps coming up to our little Victorian house. And so on Halloween night, I got out my biggest stuffed chair, and I put all of my candy in a white canvas laundry bag, an old one, and I put on my Halloween costume, and I sat out there, and it was really cool because these little kids, they would come storming up that first tier of steps with their bags and their buckets out, you know, and they would look up, and their jaws would drop, and their eyes got huge, and before they could say trick or treat, I would look at them and say, have you been good this year? and they were in shock because they told the truth too. They said, well, not all the time. You know, I mean, I thought that was beautiful. And I told them, well, you know, the truth is worth a whole handful of candy, you know, anytime. And so I give them their handful of candy. And I said, besides, you know, you got lots of time. You got lots of time to get good before Christmas. You know, you can still make it if you just work on it a little bit, you know. So that was, I enjoyed that. Like Loretta was watching, the teenagers didn't react nearly as same as the little kids. But anyway, so Coral, what I'm trying to tell you is as soon as that was done, all of a sudden that week, she started baking cookies almost every day. Now you know, and I realized she was going to rent me to a mall.
Make a little extra money.
So watch out, man. Yeah, we actually did one of these concerts, I think last week in St. Peter, right? And they had, fortunately, we had played there, and they were. We got a letter from our friends there saying, "Gosh, we really need a Santa Claus outfit."
St. James.
St. James, yeah. Man, I had that sucker in a box and gone. Insane. But she did, after 45 years, finally write me a love song. So, you know, at least it got me that.
Hold the chicken, hold the meat, just serve him up whole wheat. Never try to trim his beard, scissors are his only fear. You ain't sent me like I'm a queen, he's Santa Claus on Halloween, he's one of a kind.
That boy of mine, the world pulls at us from all sides,
But he stands strong,
listening inside. He likes love and honesty, he'll stand by you.
he'll stand by me, he's one of a kind.
That boy of mine.
They keep their ID halls at the mega shopping malls. The junk store is his favorite place. Hawaiian shirts and a tweed suitcase. He doesn't own a suit or tie except one from 1895. He's one of a kind.
That boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides,
But he stands strong,
listening inside. He likes love and honesty, he'll stand by you,
he'll stand by me, he's one of a kind.
that boy of
Come on,
mine.
take it there, boys. He doesn't text, but he is wise. He hates long goodbyes. He likes when you say what you mean and don't chatter on like a talk machine. Fashion doesn't mean a thing. He can't dance, but he sure can sing. He's one of a kind.
That boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides,
But he stands strong,
listening inside. He likes love and honesty, he'll stand by you, he'll stand by me.
he's one of a kind.
That boy of mine.
He'd give you his last dime. He works hard all the time. He likes deals and bartering. That's how I got the wedding ring. He can fix a bar guitar, and not so much on a car. He's one of a kind.
That boy of mine. The world pulls at us from all sides,
But he stands strong,
listening inside. that boy of mine.
He's one of a kind.
That boy of mine.
Oh, he's my rock.
That boy of mine.
Hard to be humble.
Well, yeah, I waited 40 years for that song. I used to write her love song when we first met. Oh, you know, it's embarrassing, those songs I wrote. Oh, man, mush, mush, mush. Ooh. Amazing being young, you know. She waited. She got me good with that song. Okay. Yeah, maybe do it next year. All right. We're all behind stage. Oh, this is beautiful. You know, yeah, but first I'd like to say, now they said armadillos would never make it through the middle of Kansas. Now they're all the way up into Nebraska. Now, I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing. I grew up in Texas. I used to go out and try to catch them in my front yard, you know. Yeah, they have a very good sense of smell. You know, if you had to come up the right direction with the wind blowing, you know, away from you. But they can't see worth anything. But now they're all the way up. But you know, who's done a recording here? Well, how many musicians do we have?
Oh, we got lots of musicians.
A lot of musicians. And I know many of you have done a recording. It's a whole...
They didn't all raise their hands.
No, but it's a whole different genre of performance. You know, you really, you know, when you pick a sound technician, you're really picking a psychologist too, you know. Yeah, it really is true, you know. Oh yeah, you can do that. Like, man, you know, just don't worry about it. Because you know, you're in your mind, everything has to be so perfect when you're recording. If you're playing, you know, you're sharing energy and it's spontaneous. It goes off into the universe and probably travels on forever. But we have Mr. Armadillo, who made it all the way to Minnesota. You got to give Douglas a hand.
He also did recording.
Oh, yeah, he's a recording engineer, and he makes things sound good all over Minnesota. Just about every festival you go to, he's there.
And plus, he plays music. He does everything. And,
what was the name of that first band?
He had a rock and roll band in the late '60s.
Yeah, he was a Stony Lonesome and a Bone Tongue. What was that first one?
Personal Mood.
Personal Mood.
Personal Mood. Man, ladies. Good thing you didn't run into him back then.
It was a folk group.
I like
It
that.
wasn't rap.
You know, the first group I was in, Burlap and Candles. With Judy Stevenson and Paul Bean. There's one. Remember? He was in my band.
First group,
high school, yeah.
First group I was in was
Who
Curtis
else?
Loretta.
Curtis Loretta. Somebody else was in it too. I can't remember. You and me and Judy. Jim Marlowe. All right. Yeah.
All right, so we'll play this song. We're going to do Karma Closet.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
you know, in the 1960s, I think, you know, us hippies and artist-type hippies really brought a lot of culture to the United States. Because I think in the 1960s, you could mention the word karma, and I don't think anybody would know what you were talking about, you know. But now that we have, you know, said it, and everybody knows what karma is, because it is like, you shall reap what you sow. If you plant thistles, don't expect corn. You know, things like that. You know, so you know what karma is. And who did any house cleaning? Physical, honest house cleaning
during the pandemic.
During the pandemic.
Stuck at home, cleaning, organizing,
Oh, man.
decluttering.
Well, we hadn't had time in like 25 years to do any house cleaning. You know? I mean, just occasional sweeps. You know. We sure as heck couldn't afford a maid, so and all of a sudden there I was, you know, holding all these lists.
Stuff to do.
And she does so much, I can't complain when she hands me a list of things
Thank
to
you,
do.
Curtis. Yeah.
She works circles around me.
So we did. We cleaned, organized, and by the end of that first summer, I was just burned out. I quit, and there's still stuff that needs to be done. And then I got rotator cuff surgery at the end of the summer, October, but just like a small tear. It was like wear and tear. It wasn't an accident. I was like, getting old. So I got that done, but it was a good time to have it done because there were, you know, no gigs happening and I couldn't play instruments for a couple months. So I sat in bed. I was sitting up in bed with this huge sling thing on my arm. And I thought, man, what can I do sitting here? And so I started writing songs. And this is when I wrote because I could kind of write with one hand, and then I would hum melodies into my iPhone. And later on, after I could play instruments, we worked out the instrumentation and stuff. So I was thinking about all that cleaning and organizing, and then I started thinking about, oh my gosh, there's a whole lot more to clean out and organize inside my head. So that's where this came from. All that baggage in there and stuff, you know.
Yeah, if you get this recording, listen very close, or read the lyrics. Most of the confessions on her part are things that she's actually...
Oh, I've done some terrible.
Oh yeah, like left the dog outside one night, stuff like that. You know? Oh, she's a rough human being. Anyway.
But it's true, it's, you know, that's kind of a funny song, but it's still poignant, it's so true. So this is called Karmic Closet, and we're going to have our band play. Yeah, Curtis, kick it off here. Gotta clean out my karmic closet, good deeds for a deposit, throw all things that I want to wear, old baggage piled up everywhere, I'm gonna have to say a prayer. The Lord, it's a mess in there. I got words hanging from a day when I met a car in the intersection. We were there at a four-way stop, and he took my turn till my stop. Oh, the words I use that day, 'cause I made myself blush today. I got to clean out my karmic closet, do good deeds for a deposit, throw all things that I want to wear, old baggage piled up everywhere. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, it's a mess in there. I can walk in where cobwebs still hide the things I wanted that were gone. My friend got her brand new car. She became a great big star, but it hardly feel jealous at all. Of Connie Howard call. Got to clean up my karmic closet, do good deeds for a deposit, throw all things that I want to wear, old baggage piled up everywhere. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, it's a mess in there. Clean it out there, Curtis. Lots of guilt in that closet, the folks I should have called but did not. That binges of chocolate and the times I did not take a stand, and I forgot my dog outside. The rain the whole night one time. Gotta clean out my karmic closet, I do good deeds for a deposit, throw all things that I want to wear, old baggage piled up everywhere. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, it's a mess in there. Oh, when I get things organized and sweep it and let in some fresh air from the neighbor's dog a few times, pay for someone else in line, well, that'll polish up your shoes. I swear I'll pay all the dues. I gotta clean out my karmic closet, do good deeds for a deposit, throw out things that I want to wear, old baggage piled up everywhere. I'm gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, it's a mess in there. Gonna have to say a prayer. Oh Lord, it's messy in there.
You know, sometimes we're just overwhelmed by having people playing with us. We're just not.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, it's like
Looking over there and
I have to
smiling.
remember, don't just sit there and listen to them. You're not in the audience. You have to do your part too. You know, it's like
No.
I remember one time we had I really kept messing up a lot. We had someone sign
Tara,
in for us.
Tara, Marcinko.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it was here on this stage. She did the sign language.
Well, the one I'm thinking about was at the Cedar Cultural Center.
Oh yeah, she came there too.
And we were doing traditional stuff that night, and I was doing a sea shanty, and it had whales in it. And man, she was doing these spouts and stuff, you know. I just kept messing up right now because I just kept
watching her.
I just kept looking over there going, wow. That was cool.
Yeah, which one?
All right, okay. Let's do ukulele.
Okay, we're gonna do a couple more songs and then take a little break, do an intermission and come back and do another set. And we're gonna get Curtis to get out his ukulele and do a song he wrote about
Got any
dog.
ukesters out there? Yeah, right, yeah. My people, well, I'm going to play Bill Broder's old uke. I got it from his 95-year-old son. It needed all new frets and a bunch of stuff, but I got it going. And, you know, and the pandemic was a trial. But does anybody like dogs? Let me ask you this. You know? I mean, for a dog, the pandemic was a dream. It's like, oh man, they were going cool. It's like, my people come home, shut the door, and stay for 2 years. You know? I mean, listen.
And they got hours. Our little dog had hours of laugh time every day. She was in like pig heaven. And then finally, when, after a couple of years, we started going back out and doing gigs again, she was like, in shock. She's like, wait, what's going on? Why am I supposed to stay here?
Yeah, right? Yeah. Bill Brothers bought this uke brand new in St. Paul in 1932, and I got it going again, so I should be an A, I think. That's not about right.
Is he good?
So, but anyway, it was cool because, it was during the Depression, and he got a job. Some company hired him to play on the radio every Saturday night and paid him $5. So he's a brilliant guy. I mean, that was a lot of money then. The first thing he did was go out and buy a national uke, which is like $35, and then started playing, got a band, and got a job at the hotel because he was on the radio right here in St. Paul. But anyway, I've always kind of felt, I'm going to use this uke, I've always felt sorry for people that don't have a pet, that sometimes in their life. I mean, to pass on true love is a very, very difficult thing. So yeah, I thought I'd just write this song. Maybe people might decide to go get a pet next time we have a pandemic, or just anything. It's called Get a Hound. Home for about 2 years, but all your kids are all alone. But get yourself to the shelter or a store and bring a dog back home. I feel sorry for those that don't have one, or maybe even two. For everyone alive deserves true love, even politicians. The side of traditional love, companions brave and true. Bodies for life with a waggling tail, loyal and true blue. Well, maybe you can't see or hear or taste or have no sense of smell. Well, a dog can help you with these things and save you when you fall into that well. Or maybe you need a security guard, nurse when you fall in, or a psychiatrist there beside your couch, and the dog will not send you a bill. About the style of tradition, no love, companion, brave and true. Bodies for life with a waggling tail, loyal and true. Let's take it for a walk now. Jack Dalmatians, Chihuahuas and Great Danes, Scooby-Doo, Pluto and Snoopy. Here bulldogs for Churchill, and corgis for the Queen, and lucky mongrel mutt looks like. For many hundreds of breeds, you can seal it up. Mongrel mutts or all the ladies cry out cute when you take walks in the park. Yes, a dog can really help you pick up
Sticks.
There's a lassie and a Minnie and a red-tailed king waiting for you at the pound. At the animal shelter or a good bed store. Go get yourself a hound, yeah. Go get yourself a hound.
Go get yourself a hound.
Oh,
Arf, arf, arf. Get.
a hound. Oh yes, and if you have the recording, you'll notice that included on the credits are the neighborhood canine choir. Indeed, yes. Our little Papillon kicks it off. We do uke back and forth. I hit uke, she barks. We get these rhythmic things going for fun. So she counts it off. She goes woof woof woof. But then we went down our neighborhood, just our one street, and we recorded all of our dog friends, and they're all on the end of the album. Yes, indeed, the end of the song. So we're going to end up with this one. We're going to put my uke away here, and we all just kind of got together and did this old-timey song, and it's one that I enjoy. I have to say, a lot of these old American ballads, they deal with questionable issues. They do it for a good reason, so it funnels down to the end of the song or the ballad, so some profound moral lesson may be passed on to the audience, you see. And in this case, even today, though this is written in the 1880s, even today, in the United States of America today, I believe that at least 50% of the people in the country today will indeed agree with the moral of this song.
Which is?
Which is, I should have listened to what my mama said.
You really should have, Curtis. We'll have Curtis do this on the old
Yeah,
time
it takes
band.
some of us longer. And when we just went in and recorded this, and I've gotten a lot of feedback by people that actually just really do play old-timey music all the time, and they really seem to like our harmonica fiddle break. It really it just kind of happened, but I think somebody described it as hillbilly bedlam. So hopefully we can recreate this for you here. It sounds pretty cool.
Well, we're going to do this one song and take a little break, and we'll come back and do another set. But our CDs are right over there. We got our new CD, Lift the World, and our previous CDs. And we came up in the 20th century, finally started taking credit cards. Cash, check, credit cards, anything you got. No crypto, sorry. I don't know how to do that. And we got a mailing list too. We'd love to have you put your email list, if you're not already on our email list, to sign up, and we'll let you know when we're playing back in town again. And we travel a lot, but we're through here a lot too. And I promise I won't give your email address to anybody. Even Curtis doesn't get to see
almost
them
forgot. Yeah.
because he doesn't know what to do with it.
And we're certainly happy to personalize these CDs, not because we're ostentatious or presumptuous or pretentious, like we do the word.
Yeah.
Just because when they do finally make it to the thrift store, people will look at them twice.
Someday.
I wore off my banjo fingernail. I went, because we were doing this recording, I went and got a fake one. She made me go to a beauty shop. It's the most terrifying thing I've ever done in my
I had to
life.
go with me. He was afraid to go home. So.
I thought I ended up walking around looking like some you know, 18th century French king or something. I didn't know. But, so I got, you know, I talked him to give me one. You know, I just need one. And I didn't realize, I think I didn't upkeep it quite right, because about a week ago I was playing and it got caught and ripped off half of my fingernail. I mean the real fingernail. Oh. But I was a trooper, I could play.
So he's using a
prosthetic,
a plastic finger stick. Never going back to a beauty parlor again.
This is a call and answer song, so help us take this first set out and sing along. Hand me down my walking.
Hand me down
my walking cane.
my walking cane.
Hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna rise up in that train. All my sins all taken away. Now hand me down that jug of corn.
That jug of corn.
Hand me down that jug of corn.
That jug of corn.
Well, hand me down that jug of corn. The halftime show is upon. All my sins all taken away now.
Had too much.
And I went to jail.
And I went to jail.
Well, I had too much.
Well, I had too much.
And I went to jail.
And I went to jail.
Well, I had too much and I went to jail. Nobody came go my bail. All my sins I was taken away. While the beans was hard.
Beans was hard.
And the meat was fat.
And the meat was fat.
Oh, the beans was hard.
Those beans was hard.
And the meat was fat.
And the meat was fat.
Well, beans was hard and meat was fat. Lord, I couldn't eat nothing like that. All my sins are taken away.
I wish I'd listened.
What Mama said.
What Mama said.
Well, if I'd listen.
If I'd listened.
What Mama said.
Mama said.
Well, if I listen what Mama said, I'd be sleeping in the bed. All my sins I was taken away. Hand me down. Well, hand me down.
Hand me down.
My walking cane.
My walking cane.
Hand me down.
Hand me down.
My walking cane.
My walking cane.
Well, hand me down my walking cane. I'm gonna ride that midnight train. All my sins I was taken away. There they go. All my sins I was taken away. God, thank you to everyone. We appreciate you folks coming out.
Yeah, it's so cool. Thank you.
Yeah, give yourselves a hand.
And Ginkgo. Kathy is so welcoming us to us. As she said at the beginning, right after they opened and started having music, and we started playing here years and years ago. She always believed in us. So thank you, Kathy, wherever you are.
So we are going to do another sing-along. And you know, I love these phenomena that happen. Now, we're going to do this song. This is kind of like open up the set with a little prayer. This is an American masterpiece written by Stephen Foster in the Great Depression of, I think it was like 1840s. Yeah, there's been a bunch of those things, you know, throughout the course of history. And it's called Hard Times Come Again No More. So if you know it, sing it with us. Close your eyes and sing it. It's a wonderful song. We'll kind of start this set, maybe end up the night with a couple of songs that are almost clear. You think when a song is, you know, becomes 160 years old, it would be irrelevant, you know. It should be kept as beautiful American art, but for better or worse, you know, some of them just go. So this is in the key of D, guys. pause in life's pleasure and count the many tears. Let our souls sorrow evermore. 'Tis our song that will linger forever in our ears. No hard times come again no more. 'Tis our song, the sigh of our weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. Though we seek mirth and beauty and music bright and gay, there are frail forms fading at the door. Oh, their voices are silent, and we eyes will say, no hard times come again no more. 'Tis our song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. 'Tis our sign that is echoed across the lonely way. 'Tis a gale that is heard upon the shore. 'Tis our dirge to be murmured around the lowly grave. No hard times come again no more. 'Tis our song, the sigh of the weary. Hard times come again no more. Many days you have lingered around my cabin door. Oh, hard times come again no more. Oh, hard times come again no more. Oh, hard times come again no more.
And we've never played that with these two guys. They just they can play anything, they just join in. I love it. You guys are amazing.
Why are you paying so well?
You're making a big thing. All right.
I'm just curious. We had COVID a long time ago, and does anybody gotten the long symptom of having a really dry mouth? We just met a few people. I've said that to the doctors, and they go, "Oh no, that's not." But we've met a few people. I'm having that right now. Right.
This was like months and months ago. He's not contagious.
Oh no.
All right, we're going to do another song that I wrote that's on the CD called Home in You. And what got me writing this was during COVID. Well, it's still going on, it's not over. But during the thick of it, I got a call from a good friend of ours, actually the daughter of this good friend of ours. On our last CD, some of you might remember that one, it was all biographical ballads, songs about real people. And this song was about, not the song I'm going to do, but the song that I wrote about Peter Razor, that grew up at the orphanage in southern Minnesota. He's in his 90s, and his daughter called up, and we became really good friends with him after I wrote that song. And his daughter called up and said, Peter, my dad's got COVID, he's not going to survive, he's in his 90s. And it was just so overwhelmed, so sad. I started writing this song called Home in You, and not just for him, but for everybody that we had lost or that was, going through hard times and stuff. And anyway, he got better, and he survived, and he lived for a few more years. He just passed away not too long ago. So it's really...
He was so cool. If you want to really make some amazing friends, just write a bunch of ballads about unknown heroes, and you'll end up with some wonderful friends.
Yeah. So it's a really love song for all kinds of people, not just for him, but for all the people that and that's another thing we realized during the pandemic. Something we learned was to not take our friends and loved ones and our audiences for granted. every time we play somewhere, I look at the audience and think, it'll never be this way again. It'll never be exactly the same people here. And it's like so incredible to see the world. So it feels like a cry. Anyway, so that's where the sign came from. Home. We were thinking about Peter and all kinds of people.
A lot of Loretta's songs are ethereal. You know, they're open to interpretation. It's like insert your reason for love here, you know, sort of thing.
Well, yeah, because people.
But what really cracks me up is we get these emails going, oh, that Curtis. So they think he wrote them about me.
Well, it's about you too.
Oh, he must be so wonderful. Oh, yeah.
It is. And
They're
people
like
can,
for everybody in the world. And,
yeah, people can take love songs on their, you know, for their own, interpret it for yourself. Where's Dawn? We'll give it to him. Almost. So this is the QC.
what's
Right?
the song?
It's called Home in You.
All right, here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. When all the world is ripped apart, light can't chase away the dark. When peace cannot find our way through, I always find my home in you. When time decides the race is run and takes away our dearest ones, when prayer is all that's left to do, I always find my home in you. You take me and you make things right, and show me hope is right in sight.
Just as a bird flies straight and true, I always find my home in you.
When every door is closed up tight, and I am locked out in the night, and when the cold just cuts right through, I always find my home in you. When there is nothing left in store, the wolf is howling at the door. When it seems I can't think through, I always find my home in you. You take me and you make things right, and show me hope is right in sight.
Just as a bird flies straight and true, I always find my home in you.
We gaze upon the calm starlight. I know there is not love more true. Always find my home in you. You take me and you make things right, and show me hope is right in sight.
Just as a bird flies straight and true, I always find my home in you.
You take me and you make things right, and show me hope is right in sight.
Just as a bird flies straight and true, I always find my home in you. Just as a bird flies straight and true, I always find my home in you. Yeah, it's really what a great, you know, it's really a great thing. It takes months, you know, to write all these songs and record them, and So
Well, some people write songs quicker, but I'm not that quick.
No, I don't know. It just takes it takes a lot of yourself to do it.
So when we came up with this idea. I wrote this grant for the Minnesota State Arts Board and, to do the CD and CD release concerts. And my proposal was to write songs about things we learned from the pandemic and things we realized, things we had time to think about. And so we told some people about we were going to do that, and somebody said, "Oh my God! I mean, every song is going to be about somebody with corona that died." I'm like, "That's going to be really depressing." I was like, "No, but there is one, and we're going to do it next. It's called Corona, and it's kind of a compilation of everything we saw on TV about things happening in the hospitals and stuff, and it's not really about any one person. It's kind of more a compilation of people." Who's leaving back? Somebody.
Hey, Doug, see where those people left? Look under the seat in front of them to see if there's a box. I think they might have forgot a box. They took it? Okay, good.
Oh, Curtis brought an antique.
Good. Watching out for me.
I thought you were mad they left.
Well, you kind of had to write one song about the darkest aspects of Corona. There's so many cool things out there. I just remember, with the masks, I don't know. I've had a beard my whole life. It's like having half a face is no it's not any way, bother me a bit. It's like, hey, I tried jewelry once. It didn't make me look a bit prettier, So masks, but the thing I noticed, and I already knew this, but people wearing masks, you could read people's expressions by their eyes just as well as you could with their mouth and their ears and everything there. It was. I just thought that was really cool. I hadn't really gotten into that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So this actually also is about the silver linings that we saw. There's always silver linings, and there was a lot of them we learned during the pandemic. So they're in the song too. Oh yeah. You ready? Am I ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Daughter said goodbye one night to silence on the phone. I love you, Mom, I always will. Then the nurse came back home. I'm so sorry she is gone. I know it's hard for you, that she would not have wanted you to catch this virus too. Oh, Corona, could you be a blessing and a curse? What a heavy price we paid to the reaper and his curse. May we not forget the lesson we learned here on this earth. May we open up our eyes and see what should come first. Just a tiny particle with spikes in its crown. Shook people to the core and shut the world right down. We all stayed home to stop the spread. We found our loved ones there. The world slowed down and gave the gift so much time to share. Oh, Corona, could you be a blessing and a curse? What a heavy price we paid to the reaper and his curse. May we not forget the lesson we learned here on this earth. May we open up our eyes and see what should come first. The hospitals filled to the brim as fevered ones poured in. The doctors could do nothing more, machines breathe for them. We had time to teach our kids and learn how smart they are. Folks sat on their porch and waved, the distance was not far. Oh, Corona, could you be a blessing and a curse? What a heavy price we paid to the reaper and his curse. May we not forget the lesson we learned here on this earth. May we open up our eyes and see what should come first. May we open up our eyes and see what should come first.
we're all here together. That's so nice. It's so wonderful. Yeah.
Want to do one traditional one, Curtis?
Let's do one. This is our version of. We end up playing things, and then we hear traditional or recorded versions, and we're shocked at how much we alter things. Yes. This is in D minor. This seems like a good one. This is an old British house tune. We've been playing this for a lot of years. I love this song. I interpret it as it's called a health to the company. You being our good company here tonight. I mean, we wish you happiness and we wish you prosperity, but more than anything, we wish you good health. A health to you all. A health to the company. Here's a health to the company. One to my lass. Let us three God be merry, all out of one glass. Let us three God be merry, all grief to refrain, for we may all but never all meet here again. Kind friends and companions, come join in my rhyme, and lift up your voices in chorus with mine. Come drink and be merry, all grief to refrain, for we may all like never all meet here again. So here's a health to the company, and one to my lass. Let us drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain, for we may all like never all meet here again.
Ready to sail. I wish her safe passage past all drums and gales. And if ever we should meet again on land or on sea, I will always remember your kindness to me.
So here's a health to the company, and one to my lass. Let's drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let's drink and be merry, all grief to refrain, for we may all like never all meet here again. My footsteps may falter, my wit, it might fail.
My course may be challenged by November gale.
Ere fortune shall prove to be friend or be foe, you will always be with me wherever I go. A health to you all. So here's a health to the company, and one to my lass. Let's drink and be merry, all out of one glass. Let us drink and be merry, all grief to refrain, for we may all like never all meet here again. Help you
And I'm going to move the harp over. And also I had something to announce. We got a little survey for you to fill out since
Oh yeah, government work.
yeah,
WPA.
it's like a grant project. So my sister Caroline's got these surveys, or some, yeah, maybe you guys could pass them out, pass out pens, and then we'll have a box over on the counter.
I mean, it's not as painful as passing out a money basket.
No, it's like 3 questions. It's really simple, but the arts board, and really rightly so, they want feedback on the concert, and know if we liked it or if it was like really horrible or whatever. So it's just like 3 questions. It's really quick. But I just forgot we were going to pass those out at intermission, and we got pens.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, surveys in Minnesota kind of crack me up. You know, it's like, you're going to do a survey, man. Minnesota's the place to do it. You know, it's like you know, oh, they were different. That's like the kiss of death. You know, it's as bad as it gets right here.
That's as mean as we get. So, yeah, you don't have to film up to the end, but just so you have it. And we are going to switch to guitars. And we're going to do a little number. Curtis calls this a jingle.
It's called the Ginkgo in Minnesota. Yeah. I tell you, gentlemen, I don't know if you noticed it or not, but I mean, being with it became really difficult for me to procrastinate during this pandemic. I mean, you're sitting there with your wife, you can't leave. I was exploring new techniques of procrastination. You know, I mean, you're pretty much kind of cornered there. You know, it's like I have to go in a room and lock the door, procrastinate by myself. It's more fun if other people are with you while you're doing it. You know, but anyway.
Well, this is another one I wrote sitting there in bed with that big sling on my arm and started thinking about. Geez, maybe I should have tried something else besides being a folk singer.
Well, you know, she could use one arm at least. She could write some songs. And I gave her this antique bell in case she needed anything.
You did.
So I mean, and there went a lot of procrastination right there, you know. I mean, she was pretty much in bed for a few days. I could have been down there procrastinating about all kinds of stuff. But then you hear that bell, ding, 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 ding.
I was embarrassed to ring. I hardly ever ring. I think I did one time. I said, you know, for a moment I could just still call you on your cell phone. He goes, oh, that's too weird. I'm just downstairs. Just ring the bell. So,
well, I remember it differently.
So this came out of it. I'm just thinking of like maybe what else I could have done. But like Curtis says, we don't really know how to do anything else. We'd make really horrible ditch diggers or anything like that. Construction, we're not very good at that. So,
yeah, I tried to work on our van one time. Wow, several times. Well, I actually got to drive all the way to the end of the block one time before it broke down again. That was the best I ever did. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway.
I like the time. It's like something was wrong, and somebody told him, "Well, if you get under there and tap that thing,
as a
that'll
starter,
take care of
right?
it."
Yeah, you're supposed to tap something with your hammer.
Get under there and tap.
Yeah, I got under there, and they described to me what the thing looked like that I was supposed to tap. So I crawled under there, and I put a big dent in my power steering reservoir. They just went. Fortunately, it didn't have a hole in it, you know. But anyway, I should have really procrastinated on that. I decided I'd rather play 10, 20 gigs, whatever it takes, 100. Go up, hire some guy.
Rather than work on your car, because it's not safe.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah, there we go.
You know, I'm sorry. I didn't get my microphone. Sorry. I know I messed up the beginning of last week.
Hey, that could almost qualify as a procrastination.
You should have. I could have.
You should have. I don't know if she can. So coulda might be out. No, she could have. But she didn't. This is impressive. Here's the underwears.
Yeah, I'm glad it was the beginning, because we played a concert up in New York Mills a couple weeks ago, and it did that same thing where I switched to guitar, and like in the middle of the song I looked down and there was no mic there, Curtis, and I just looked at each other, well, it's too late now. That was close enough to the beginning of the song that we could get that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. One more time, see.
So you feeling pretty good about this now?
Okay. I think I got it.
All right, band.
Suppose you should try to be a doctor or a nurse, a pilot or attorney, just to fatten up the purse. Suppose you should listen when the mom would be a nun. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, wouldn't get my son. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, never works for me. It's just a pie, the most you ought to see. Folks up your looks glass until you see. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, was never meant to be. I could have gone to China or I could have gone to Spain. I could have bought a lighthouse on an island off of Maine. I could have lived in Paris or the mountains of Peru. But shoulda, coulda, woulda, wouldn't get me here with you. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, never works for me. It's just a riptide, the bulls you ought to see. Folks up your looking glass until you see. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, never meant to be. would have walked with Gandhi by the Ganges, but he's gone. I would have been a dancer, but my feet are just too wrong. I would have climbed up Everest if I wasn't scared of heights. I shoulda, coulda, woulda, wouldn't bring me here tonight. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, never works on me. It's just a riptide that pulls you up to sea. It falls up your looking glass until you see. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, was never meant to be. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, never works on me. It's just a riptide that pulls you up to sea. Falls up your looking glass until you see. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, was never meant to be. Yeah, shoulda, coulda, woulda, it's not for you and me. Not for you and me. And I still do that. See, I was trying to teach myself not to be like that, but I still do it all the time. Maybe I should have been like a computer programmer or something. Had a pension on.
Not me. I'm a regular couch dynamo.
But you get a lot done on the couch. He watches TV and practices at the same time. It drives me crazy. But that's how I learned to play banjo. He just sat there and played the do it without thinking.
Old Western movies and a banjo. You know, people ask me, well, how do you learn how to play a harmonica? I just say, well, you go, you buy a harmonica and you hitchhike to California. That's the way I did it. Really, by the time you get there, you'll know a couple of tunes on the harmonica. Let's do Grace Dance. Let's do 2 more songs. A couple more. Yeah, we'll do Grace Dance. So this song, we'll do a couple more songs, and then after this song, we'll profusely thank everybody. But, so I grew up in Texas. I take pills for it. It's okay.
But do they work?
Yeah, no, they're big, expensive pills. But, so my grandmother, she was an amazing lady, just an amazing lady. She had she was born in 1893. Her husband was a Spanish-American War veteran. He was like 20 years older than her. He was blind most of the time they were together. She had 5 sons, and then she had triplets, which she were born in her house, and she kept them in one of those enamel roasting pans, as an incubator she did, on low, mind you, One of those little bitty babies was my mother.
That's really smart.
And my mother was so proud. She was one of triplets in Waco, Texas, one of the first recorded triplets, really, where they all lived, And she and her birthday, she loved this, was 3/30/30. Triplets.
March 30th, 1930. One of triplets.
They didn't really have a clock, but she swears it was 3 o'clock in the morning. And she swears the lady that came and helped. This song is about her. My grandmother's middle name was Danforth. And I was always curious about that. So, and I'd like to say, ask, if your grandparents or your parents or anybody like that is still alive, man, make it a point several times to think of everything you want to ask them, and do it, because, man, I know all of us. It's the point, God, I wish I had asked more about that. But my mom said, well, my grandmother was named after a lady named Danforth, who was a doctor that helped birth my grandmother. So, I thought, well, 1893, it didn't occur to me that in Texas, there probably just weren't that many lady doctors at the time.
No, and most babies weren't delivered by doctors. It would just be by a neighbor or a midwife or something. And her name was Dr. Grace Danforth. So his mother always talked about this story about her. She was a suffragist also, and she was a really prominent member of the Equal Rights Association in Texas.
Founding member, yeah.
Yeah, co-founding member of Texas Equal Rights Commission. And his mother was convinced that
my mother's like 4'9" with a bun. She was one of those little things out of the roasting pan, And she was sure. If my mother liked you, you were in luck. Because if she didn't, man, you didn't want that,
Yeah.
So, but she was convinced that when
the doctor died at a young age, Dr. Grace Danforth died at 46, and his mother, and it was a story in the family that somebody had offed her because she was a suffragist, a woman doctor. And so I thought, man, what a story that would be, what a song. And so I started researching and found out all the things she'd done as a suffragist and as a doctor. And I even talked to a woman, a professor in Texas A&M in Commerce, Texas, who did her dissertation on Texas suffragists. And I asked her that question, and she knew all about Dr. Grace Danforth, and she said no. She said there's no evidence of that. I'm like, oh, well, I can't really put that in the song. Curtis is like, well, it could have been true, but I like truth. So it wasn't really a murder mystery. It turned into a different song. It turned into just how wonderful this woman was, everything she did, and all the barriers she faced. And a lot of the words in the song are her actual words. She joined the Dallas Medical Association. She was the first woman member of that, and they grilled her at the beginning. The first verse of the song, the Medical Association, when she tried to be a member, they said they have, go to this interview, and they said, well, why would you want to join? This doesn't seem right. Why would you want to leave your hearth and home? It's 1893, and she said because this is the way of the future. This is where it's going, and women want to be free and useful, and this is what's happening. And my God, she paved the way for all the rest of us. So I think that's the real story behind this song.
And if my mother was here tonight, still alive and
She'd tell you.
here, she would listen to the song and storm out.
No,
But this ain't the way it
they
happened.
offered. And really, the real story was she died at 46 because she had terrible migraines and she took too much laudanum one time. And it's hard, the dosing just wasn't as accurate as it is now, and she passed away, 46.
Yeah. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Grace became a doctor in 1888. But Dallas doctors said this is not a woman's place. The Medical Association said this just seems wrong. Why would you leave your hearth and home? Isn't that where you belong? Dr. Grace Danforth spoke out loud and clear. With head held high, she notified the whole wide world. We are reaching out now to be useful, to be free. Women march into the future that is meant to be. She brought so many babies into this changing world. The vaccine for smallpox she gave boys and girls. And all the patients loved her for she gave each one a best. Still others did not trust her, for she was a suffragist. Dr. Grace Danforth spoke out loud and clear. With head held high, she notified the whole wide world. We are reaching out now to be useful, to be free. Women march into the future that is meant to be. She was a founding member in 1893 of Texas Equal Rights Association, you see. When men said they don't need to vote, for we will speak for them, she said we will speak for ourselves, for we are equal to men. Dr. Grace Danforth spoke out loud and clear. With head held high, she notified the whole wide world. We are reaching out now to be useful, to be free. Women march into the future that is meant to be. She spoke and wrote and organized all for the noble cause, to help her sisters win the prize of the ballot box. But on her birthday, just as she was turning 46, she slipped away from this old earth. But oh, she left a sis. Dr. Grace Danforth spoke out loud and clear. With head held high, she notified the whole wide world. We are reaching out now to be useful, to be free. Women
is meant
to be. When I march into the future, that is meant to be.
Well, thank you all very much. Anybody ever heard of the town Hutchinson?
Hutchinson, Minnesota.
You know, we're very influenced by traditional music, you know, all our lives. And there was a great, you know, the people that founded, the main founders of Hutchinson, Minnesota were rock stars in 1855 when it was founded. They were the Hutchinson singing Swiss family. Singing Swiss families were the big force in popular music at the time. And just, you know, following that song up, when the Hutchinsons and all the people that founded Hutchinson, Minnesota in 1855 wrote the town charter, women had the right to vote in Hutchinson, Minnesota. So I think, you know, you research history and get embarrassed quite often, but every once in a while you find a little gem. We're going to end up with a song. We thought, now, I don't know, maybe it's just my Texas upbringing, but I have always just loved hymns. And I don't care if you're a churchgoer or not. I mean, I think 1800s American hymns are just this fabulous genre of American folk music, you know. And we were thinking that we were just looking for one to put on this album with, you know, with all these things happening with COVID and our friends dying. We thought, When the Roll is Called Up Yonder would be a good one, because there was, for better or worse, there was a lot of rolls being called up yonder during the song. So if you know this one, sing along. If you don't, we expect you to know it by the end of the song.
Yeah, we'll dedicate this to everyone we lost during COVID. It's a rough time for a lot of people. Put that prosthetic finger back on. The old finger pick. Thank you so much, everybody, and be sure to sign our email list if you feel like it. And really, honestly, I don't give your email address to anybody, and I don't send stuff like. I hate to sign an email list and then they send you something like every week or every day. I'm like, I send something like every month or two or something like that. And honestly, Curtis has never sent an email, so he didn't know what to do with it.
I'm a virgin. Yes, I am. She made me do that other thing one time.
I taught him how to text one time. And,
she wouldn't do it for me. She made me do it. I only did
well, he
it
wanted to
once.
send pictures to his sister, so I did it. And then
All I had to do was screw it up after that, and she would do it for
on
me.
purpose, he forgot how to do it because he just didn't want to do it. So we'll end up with the roll. It's called Up Yonder. And thank you so much, everybody. And thank you to the Minnesota State Arts Board. We love you. Because of Minnesota, we decided we could never leave Minnesota because you're so supportive of the arts.
Play a nice key.
Oh, I got one more thing to say too. And thanks for doing the surveys. Are we going to put the box somewhere over there? Maybe we put the box up on the counter there by the coffee machine or something.
I forgot my red pen, so I won't be able to grade them while you're here.
Also, they really do like feedback. So in my proposal for the Arts Board too, I said that I would be like just taking comments from people. So I'm going to grab that little tape recorder that's up there in the air taping right now, and just if people have any comments, come over and talk to me over by the CD table. We did this at the other two CD release concerts we did in New York Mills and St. James, and it was really, really nice to hear people's little short comments. Yeah.
Okay, When the Roll is Called Up Yonder.
Yeah,
Thank you so
and
much.
we ask her, Kathy, did you count how many people were here? Also, I have to hand in how many people were here. Do we know? Okay.
Did you
Otherwise,
count
we have
these?
to like count our heads.
You can count your employees.
Okay, sorry, that's all. That was all.
And when the trumpet of glory shall sound and time shall be no more, when the morning breaks turn all bright and fair, when the saints on earth gathered over on that other shore, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. On that bright bright cloudless morning when the dead shall rise and the joy of that resurrection share. When the saints on earth gather to their home beyond the sky, when the road is called up yonder, I'll be there. Everybody now. When the road is called up yonder, 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 let's call that roll now. This makes you want to play it. All right. What is that last verse? You made me forget my verse. Let's lay before the master from the dawn till setting sun. Let's sing all that wondrous love and care. Now when all our lives are over and our work on earth is done, when the road is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the road is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. Now when the road is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the road is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the road is called up yonder, when the road is called up yonder, I'll be there.
Tom Schaefer and Sandy Njoes.
We would like walk off stage and scratch and stuff, but you guys can, let's sing, that was so pretty. Let's sing one more together. Just let's sing one for all the people in Minnesota, in the world, Let's do that. This is a song that was dual written. This was written by a guy that we met and a guy we haven't met. And it's in the key. Yeah, get your heart.
Oh, and heart.
This was written, you're supposed to, end up with a real rousing one, but I'd rather end up with this peaceful one. This was written by a guy named Pete Seeger and King Solomon. And so we'll play this one for you.
All right, I got the bird.
Yeah, we've been singing this one a lot. I think it just needed to be sung the last few years. This is called. I guess I should tell you guys the name of this song.
Well, I figured out, told them, but they've never played this before.
A, right?
Yeah, except the key of A.
The key of A, and it's called Turn, Turn, Turn.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get the key of A. I got a bunch of levers to put up here. So, what year was this a big hit, Curtis? Do you remember?
I don't know. I was, you were around. I was
65.
10 years old, I believe, yeah.
It was on the top of the hit parade in 1965. The Birds made it a big hit. Okay,
Yeah,
I gotta make
sing
sure I
this
get all the
chorus
rating.
with us.
I gotta
So-
make sure I get all the rating levers.
We initially learned this song because we got a call, after 40 years you do a lot of gigs. We got a call asking us to play at, what do they call those places? Convent. For like 80 retired nuns. And we thought, wow, that would be cool, that would be different, And so, 3 or 4 days before the gig, we started writing our song list, We went, oh man, I don't know, We started scrutinizing songs a little closer, So we actually learned this song for that. They loved it, but we got there and it was a beer and pizza party.
Beer and pizza.
Yeah,
They were very
they were
open-minded.
okay, But sing this with us.
Yeah, hang on, I'm almost ready.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every rose under heaven.
Time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every rose under heaven. A time to build up, a time to break down, a time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every rose under heaven.
A time of love, a time of hate, a time of war, a time of peace, a time when it may be, a time to refrain from embraces.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every rose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time of love, a time of hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. One more time, everybody. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every rose under heaven. And a time to every rose under heaven. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the report. Thank you.